Daily, Tyrone Keys helps others receive the same opportunity he was given. An SEC's 75th anniversary story of character.
Let's take a look at our All-States Good Hands flashback. The last time Alabama lost in the regular season as number one was all the way back in 1980. Tied 3-3 late in the fourth quarter. Dana Moore's 22-yard field goal put the Bulldogs up by 3. Alabama marched down to the 2-yard line, but Tyrone Keys hit quarterback Don Jacobs. It forced the fumble. Mississippi recovered and ended Alabama's 28-game win streak.
Attention for his post-career work and seems especially proud of his recognition as one of the SEC's 75th anniversary stories of character and his induction into the MSU Education Hall of Fame.
Our first award this evening is usually presented by Ted Rubenstein, the brother of our late executive director, Michael Rubenstein. Regretfully, Ted is unable to be here this evening, but the award is named in Michael's honor and is given to someone who has made a lasting impact on local, state, or a national level. Tyrone Keys, a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2009, is this year's winner. 25 years ago, this 7-year NFL veteran established the All-Sport Community Service Incorporated. Since that time, ASCS has raised millions of dollars to aid those looking for mentors in both the Tampa Bay and the Mississippi areas. ASCS is a way to highlight the power of educators to bring a multicultural, intergenerational mentor model to bear fruit for families, communities, and the world. At an early age, Tyrone recognized those that helped him along his path to manhood. Now he is working to provide mentorship and guidance to those young people in need of a push in the right direction. Tyrone is the 7th to receive this award, joining former winners Dave Boo Ferris, Ben Puckett, Archie Manning, George Bryan, Governor William Winter, and Ron Polk.
It was a proud moment 9 years ago to be inducted into this Hall of Fame there and have my teachers to come. And I just never forget, as a kid, watching all the Super Bowl games and watching Monday Night Football, and my mom said, "It's time to go to bed," but I said, "No, Mom, I want to play pro football one day." And I never would have ever thought that when my dad took me outside to kind of throw the ball around, that this ball would have taken me places. But I want to tell young students, the ball without education and without the proper mentoring is a disaster. So I encourage the young people that they have to develop character, because football by itself is a non-transferable skill. But you can take everything that you learn from the coaches and the teachers, you can take with you and you can apply it, and you can parlay the game from the playing field to the game of life, and then come back and help the next generation on their journey.
We're happy to present the Kuehl Family Fame for Fitness Award, and this check to you and your foundation, All Sports Community Service.
Well, tonight's Black Heritage story is about a former pro football player who's helping students see the benefit of going to college. His commitment to help them succeed is what's right with Tampa Bay.
When Jamal was in high school, I was his mentor.
Visiting students at the NFL Yes Center in West Tampa brings back some fond memories for Tyrone Keys.
From the root to the fruit there, that's what people know us as, because we stick with students from the beginning to the end.
Tyrone's the founder of All Sports Community Service, a grassroots youth scholarship mentoring program he started in 1991.
We help the high school students develop a game plan beyond high school. We move with them year to year, to graduation, to career. And then they come back and they keep it going. And now we're on our third generation of students.
He was born in Jackson, Mississippi, and a star player at Mississippi State University.
I was all SEC.
And his induction into the MSU Education Hall of Fame. Tyrone set a school record at state with 10 sacks in 1980.
And then most recently received the Lifetime Achievement Award for the state of Mississippi for the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame.
Reaching the top of the NFL world in 1985, winning the Super Bowl with the Chicago Bears, after also playing for the Bucs. He knows it takes teamwork to win on the field, and it takes paying forward to win in the community.
It was a dream come true for me when I got a chance to go to the Chicago Bears to be with somebody that took me up under their wings and mentored me.
And he's followed suit, helping thousands of students get into college. His all-sports mentoring program was recently inducted into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame.
Here's a contribution.
He took that money that came with the honor and donated it back to Blake High School's football program.
It's just a blessing of what he does for young people, and how he motivates us.
Oh, y'all didn't ask the QB his name?
Jamal Jefferson was a high school student when he first met Keys. Now he's the site supervisor at the NFL Yes Center.
He's been a mentor. He's been a person that I look to when I need guidance myself, professionally, personally. So it's just, you know, like I said, it's been a blessing for me to know Mr. Keys.
You met Mr. Keys.
And mentoring, Keys says, has got to come with an open, selfless heart.
Knowing that your gratifications come from seeing the person that you're working with fulfill their dreams, and then not only fulfill their dreams, but come back and help the next.
Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
A joy he's hoping to hand off to others for years to come.
Two seasons and 20 wins later, the Bears traded for Keys, who spent the 83, 84, and 85 seasons in Chicago, where fellow Mississippian Walter Payton took him under his wing.
Well, definitely, when I went there, I never forget meeting Walter Payton, and of course I grew up watching Walter Payton, and I appreciate him for taking me up under his wings and showing me the ropes, the do's and the don'ts of a big city like Chicago.
For many, the image of Walter and his hill will last forever, and perhaps it is fitting that no one else can ever claim to be king of that hill.
They turned it into a par 3 golf course. It's not there anymore. I had a coach there by the name of Robert Hill who he had a different philosophy in terms of coaching.
Hill placed little importance on non-contact drills, believing that the best way to nurture a successful football team was to have them play a lot of football.
Monday, we scrimmage. Tuesday, we scrimmage. Wednesday, we scrimmage. Thursday, we scrimmage.
As a 4-year starter, Payton averaged over 6 yards a carry, rushed for over 3,500 yards, and attracted other top prospects to the program.
Everyone was talking about this hot, new, sensational running back that they had, and sure enough, he was pretty special. I remember thinking, man, wouldn't it be nice to go there and be on the team with him? And I got to meet him and saw what a neat guy he was, and I said, man, I'd sure like to play with him. And ended up getting a chance to block for him.
Walter finished his college career as the leading scorer in NCAA history, piling up an astounding 66 touchdowns in only 43 games. From 1971 to 74, Payton and the Tigers won 33 games while losing just 9. An organization designed to offer kids guidance and support in a friendly and safe environment.
Our foundation is to make a difference wherever that need or wherever that positioning may be, and that's what we do.
Walter's dedication to helping kids is evident even when it comes to the simplest of tasks.
I'd like to get into a situation when you sign autographs that you interact with that person somehow, or you ask him questions about where he's from, what he's doing.
Walter, how are you? Nice to meet you, man. Pleasure's all mine. Who's that? That's my son, Simon. Hi, Simon. How are you? Yeah. Can you sign his ball for him? I'm glad to.
I have 2 kids, and if they had an opportunity to meet, one of their heroes, I would appreciate it if they, would give the courtesy to be just a little personal.
While in Tampa, Tyrone recalled Payton's urging that he start preparing now for life after football. Keys took a job as a substitute teacher at a local high school and became more active in his community. He closed his pro career in 1988 with San Diego. At age 29, with 9 pro seasons, a Super Bowl ring, and some college records on his resume, Tyrone Keys went back to Tampa to make a difference, where kids who were helped come back to help others.
Is Tyrone Keys, founder of All Sports Community Service. Some of us in the room are old enough to remember Tyrone as part of the 1985 Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears. He's the one seen playing the keyboard in the Super Bowl Shuffle.
We know it's good, blowing your mind like a Nubian would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone.
new song that was performed by team members and raised thousands of dollars for needy Chicago families. Drawing on the idea of using his success to give back, as well as his personal experience with mentors along his journey, Keys created his own foundation to help others. In 1993, Keys founded All Sports Community Service, a nonprofit mentoring and scholarship organization dedicated to helping challenged youth in Tampa achieve their dreams of attending college. Keys teaches his students the idea that the skills learned on the playing field could be parlayed into the field of life. And since 1993, All Sports has assisted hundreds of students obtain millions of dollars in support toward their college education. But an important aspect of receiving help from All Sports Community Service is a commitment to becoming mentors themselves, returning to the community to assist the next generation and carrying on the root to fruit model that he has fostered.
A successful pro career and seeing someone come back to the community and not being what I see on television is, being able to come back with me one-on-one, being like a second father figure to me and helping me do something positive with my life, getting me started, maybe do something he's done, maybe if I'm blessed, to go to the NFL, go to the league or something like that, I hope that I can come back and do some of the same things that he's done.
My personal motto is each one, teach one. So if I reach one, then that kid will reach one. Just make a vicious cycle of success and can improve out the way.
For 13 seasons, Walter Payton inspired wonder in all those who had the privilege to watch him play. His runs made fans marvel, and his unselfishness made 30-year-old, 300-pound linemen act like children.
Myself or Noah Jackson, we'd run in the end zone, try to get the ball so you could spike it. That was kind of a good feeling too. It made us feel as if we scored the touchdown.
And maybe that is Walter's greatest gift. Not his athletic talent, but his unique ability to touch all those who came in contact with him.
He was just a great person to play with. I'm just glad I was able to play with a guy like that.
I loved playing against him. I loved watching him. There should be more Walter Paytons.
What I remember about the Super Bowl Shuffle, I remember Richard Dent let me listen to the musical to it. And I'm thinking, this is sound good.
We are the Bears, the shuffling crew, shuffling on down, do it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. We're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
We lost to the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football in one of the most watched football games ever at that time. And after that game, we said, forget all of this, we're going to go do the Super Bowl Shuffle. We're going to make a commitment. And we made a commitment. We went to the studio that next day, which was Tuesday. And we got there in the studio at about 10 o'clock. And we recorded it. It took about 4 or 5 hours. And we recorded the Super Bowl Shuffle and released it the next week. And everybody thought we were like crazy for doing it. But I think it was like 6 weeks before the Super Bowl. And we did it, and it was a big hit. But the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the Super Bowl Shuffle was, if you listen to Walter Payton's lyrics, we're not doing it because we're greedy. We're doing it to feed the needy.
We're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
And that was to raise a lot of money for the families in Chicago to feed them and clothe them during the winter months.
This was earlier today in the Bear locker room as the Bears packed in preparation to go to New Orleans for the Super Bowl engagement with the Patriots. That's Tyrone Keys getting his gear together. We're just hard by the side of that locker room. We're in the weight room of the Bears.
This time is where Buddy Ryan has a new wrinkle, and that is to put Tyrone Keys in on passing down. They have their 40 direction. Sent away by Tyrone Keys. That was part of their package. That was part of the scheme. He's 6'8", and he batted it down.
Ahead 17-0, the stage was set for one final magic moment.
And now the winner that everybody talked about.
I wonder if they're
finally arrived.
Maybe they're cheering for the snow.
The best thing about that day was the last fumble. Third down, 11 yards to go for Dieter Brock and company. Brock back to pass, the rush on to and hammered down. He got the ball. Picked up by Wilbur Marshall. Marshall running across the goal. Go. 20. He'll go all the way. 15. All right. 5 touchdown. What a goal. Oh, man. What a way to end. Oh. Wilbur Marshall has scored for the Chicago Bears. I can still see it in slow motion when Wilbur Marshall picks up the ball. The Fridge is leading him down the field, and we all are just running with him.
Fridge ain't losing no ground now. He's right with him.
You can't write a script for this, just the way it all ended.
Not to get theatrical, but I mean, how better can you write a script here for crying out loud?
And the snow starts coming down, and the fans went absolutely crazy.
The Bears were going to their first Super Bowl. Mike Ditka's thoughts turned to Papa Bear George Halas, the man who had hired him to get them there.
And I think right there, the old man was saying, we've come full circle, guys. We've come full circle. That's the first time since '63.
As great as superstar he was a great man.
And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't
With Tyrone as a player in the video and a valuable defensive end on the field, the Bears shuffled all the way to the Super Bowl 20 title following the '85 season.
Yeah, it is. It's an honor, and actually, it was the NFL Man of the Year award, and they actually renamed it the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award. Actually, in 1999, the year that Walter passed, and it was Super Bowl 34. Now, how ironic was that?
We are the Bears, shuffling through, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun. Our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like Mickey Moore Mance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. This is
So bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like Mickey Moore Mance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. This is
We are the Bears, shuffling through, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
me sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like Mickey Moore Mance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shop. This is me sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like Mickey Moore Mance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shop.
Character. And I just never forget, as a kid, watching all the Super Bowl games and watching Monday Night Football, and my mom said, it's time to go to bed, but I said, no, Mom, I want to play pro football one day. And I never would have ever thought that when my dad took me outside to kind of throw the ball around, that this ball would have taken me places.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest team in NFL history, the 1985 Chicago Bears. Now, I know that may get me into some trouble in some cities that I visit, but I believe it is the truth. Cynics might say that I'm only hosting the 85 Bears today because the Green Bay Packers were here a couple months ago, and I was not going to be outdone. But as it turns out, after this team won the Super Bowl, it never had a chance to celebrate here in the White House. The day after Super Bowl 20, 500,000 Chicagoans turned out in 25 below wind chill weather to welcome the champs back from New Orleans. But sadly, the day after that, we endured a national tragedy as the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after liftoff. And so the moment for the Bears to visit the White House was postponed, and the years went by. But shortly after I took office, someone at the NFL realized, hey, there's a Bears fan living in the White House. And they called my staff and asked if we could make this happen. And so today I'm proud to say to the players, to the coaches, to the staff of the 1985 Bears, welcome to the White House for this well-deserved and long overdue recognition. I think we were just a group of guys that came together at a point in time that really loved the game and really loved each other. We had so much passion for the game and so much pride in what we did.
In Week 11 in Dallas, the Bears played more passionately than ever. It was the student versus the teacher.
Tom Landry always understood that Coach Ditka respected him. We wanted to play as hard and as physical as we possibly could, but we wanted to do it with class.
I mean, they were America's team. It changed in a big way that day.
White backpedals underneath his crossbar, fires right side of the ball, tipped to the air by Hampton, picked up by Dick, spins to the end zone, touchdown!
Cowboys were shut out for the first time in 15 years. It was the worst loss in franchise history.
And back to Phil Hugable, that's going to win a hurry over the middle, intercepted by Richardson, 35-30 down the right side of the 20, 15, 10-5. Touchdown, Mike Richardson of the Chicago Bears.
Their offense could do nothing against our defense. nothing. You know, I had to tell Buddy call off the dogs, but they have a right to have fun.
And Buddy just tell, hey, you know, you, I run the defense, get out of here.
The Bears did ease up, but by then it was too late. When it was over, the student was just as crushed as his teacher.
I never felt worse in my life when he came up and said, you guys are good. And you know, I said, Coach, I'm sorry. He said, you guys are good. That's all he said.
The Bears were division champions. At 11-0, they were undefeated, led by a defense that was unblockable.
I can still see it in slow motion when Wilbur Marshall picks up the ball. The Fridge is leading him down the field, and we all are just running with him.
Fridge ain't losing no ground now. He's right with him.
You can't write a script for this, you know, just the way it all ended.
Not to get theatrical, but I mean, how better can you write a script here for crying out loud?
And the snow starts coming down, and the fans went absolutely crazy.
The Bears were going to their first Super Bowl. Mike Ditka's thoughts turned to Papa Bear George Halas, the man who had hired him to get them there.
And I think right there, the old man was saying, we've come full circle, guys. We've come full circle. That's the first time since '63.
Bears president Mike McCaskey holding the Vince Lombardi trophy up over his head.
1985 Chicago Bears. The first close-up look for a lot of these people, and boy, are they enjoying this.
Of course, the fans here at Bears Plaza have a good vantage point, too, because of that big Diamond Vision screen that's been up all week. They can see what's going on as our cameras pick it up. So, too, will the cameras supplying video to the Diamond Vision screen. There's Mike McCaskey, and there is the Super Bowl trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, the Chicago Bears of 1985. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael McCaskey, the Chicago Bears.
I can't tell you what a great moment this is for all of us Chicago Bears. Today, in this country, everybody is a Chicago Bear fan. Our Bear family has a dream, and that's to be a championship ball club. The players, the coaches, the staff have worked hard and long to make it happen. It happened. We are the Super Bowl champs.
Woof, 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 woof. Yes.
It couldn't have happened without superb players.
While in Tampa,
This was earlier today in the Bear locker room as the Bears packed in preparation to go to New Orleans for the Super Bowl engagement with the Patriots. That's Tyrone Keys getting his gear together. We're just hard by the side of that locker room. We're in the weight room of the Bears.
This time is where Buddy Ryan has a new wrinkle, and that is to put Tyrone Keys in on passing down. They have their full
direction. Sent away by Tyrone Keys. That was part of their package. That was part of the scheme. He's 6'8", and he batted it down.
But I want to tell young students, the ball without education and without the proper mentoring is a disaster. So I encourage the young people that they have to develop character, because football by itself is a non-transferable skill. But you can take everything that you learn from the coaches and the teachers, you can take with you and you can apply it, and you can parlay the game from the playing field to the game of life, and then come back and help the next generation on their journey. Is in 1971 when we started busing. It was considered one of our darkest moments because we didn't know what to expect. And we go over to Callaway, and we all united as one front, one heartbeat. And for us to come back today to get off of that school bus, that's history.
I have always said that God can use anyone or anything for his purposes. In 1975, I believe he brought Coach Jenkins to Callaway and used the game of football to demonstrate to a group of high school kids that racial reconciliation is not just something you ought to strive for, it's really something that can bring lifelong joy and friendships. Back in 1970, the U.S. Department of Education and the Department of Justice declared segregated schools unconstitutional, and a massive busing plan was implemented across Mississippi. The effort did achieve a more racially integrated classroom at first, but the results did not create a more colorblind environment on either side in most places. Somehow, Callaway was different. There was an unusual mix of administrators, teachers, coaches, parents, and students, whose character and values fostered an environment of respect and cooperation. Nowhere was that fact more visible than among the members of the football team. At Callaway High School in 1975, a diverse group of aspiring athletes bonded on the gridiron to lead their team to the first statewide championship of an integrated football team in Mississippi. No JPS team can boast such an accomplishment to this day. Over 40 years later, that band of brothers, black and white, continues deep friendships with each other. Skin color has never been an issue for them. When the team held a 40-year reunion in 2016, the members got together and rode an old JPS school bus together to the MS Sports Hall of Fame Museum and presented their 1975 state championship trophy to Bill Blackwell, the executive director. Coach Jenkins inspired that unity and continued community. He was instrumental in organizing the 50-year Hall of Fame and an invitation to the Mississippi State Hall of Fame to celebrate the 75 state championship team and the 50th anniversary team.
The 1975 Callaway Chargers were honored today at the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. They were the last integrated JPS team to win a state title. Hall of Famer Hill Denton was an assistant coach. Tyrone Keys played on the undefeated Charger squad 40 years ago. I asked the Super Bowl champ what it meant for this team to be remembered forever on Lakeland Drive.
Since I've been inducted since 2009, I always thought about that 75 Callaway team. Just thought about them and just thought about the 85 Bears and what a blessing it was for me to play on two outstanding legendary teams. 40 years later, for us to be going into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame with our trophy, what a wonderful day. And the great thing about it is in 1971, when we started busing, it was considered one of our darkest moments because we didn't know what to expect. And we go over to Callaway, and we all united as one front, one heartbeat. And for us to come back today to get off of that school bus, that's history. Give thanks to Coach Odell Jenkins, and this was his vision. This was his vision along with Mr. Bobby Hawthorne.
Callaway High School was the first school in the state of Mississippi was identified as a school of choice. Black and whites had opportunity to choose to go to school together. Callaway was the first school in the state of Mississippi. Players talked about how we came together. Black and white, as Tyrone mentioned the number of players, we had an assortment about 50-50 black and white players. There's no other team in the Jackson, Mississippi that's won a state championship, but however, here's another point. There's no other team in the Jackson metro area that's gone undefeated and won a state championship, and this was Callaway in 1975. There was a proclamation that the state legislators presented to Callaway after the 75 championship team.
Coach Odell Jenkins, who was the only African-American coach on the staff of the Callaway Charger 1975 state championship team, was the glue that held it all together.
Tyrone has been a blessing to me. And all you guys have, Bobby, Dunn, Clump, Darrell Smith, and all you guys that I have talked to, and Slaughter, you mean so much to me now. Tell you something else, we've been blessed to have been around a bunch of good guys. It hasn't been on. In fact, when I spoke to the team, first ball game this year, I told them they had a whole lot to uphold. It's not all just football. You're all not just football players. Look where you are now. Look what you're doing. We got doctors, lawyers, people who have done well, law enforcement. You have done well. You have represented Callaway well. And Skippy, Hill and I been friends over the years, Coach Lee. All us, in fact, when I tell other people from other schools, and they said, not only y'all still good, y'all work together, it's amazing, y'all friends. Some people don't understand that. We still are good friends. You all are winners, but we appreciate you coming. It's just a good job to see it all come together.
Look, I would like to say this about Coach Jenkins and the rest of our coaches. Before I knew what a mentor was, these guys was our mentors. These guys have been doing it for years, and we thank you for what you have made out of us.
When I came to Callaway, there was a principal there named Mr. Smith. There was an assistant principal named Lamar Nesbitt. There was an assistant principal named Mr. Manning. That was the foundation for what you see here today. Besides that point, you could not find a better coaching staff in the United States than Charlie Allman, Skippy Beerbro, Hill Denson, Odell Jenkins, and Bill Lee. I'm telling you, they were the epitome of coaches. So again, you fellas that went all the way to that championship, remember the foundation was set.
A concurrent resolution commending the Jackson Callaway High School football Chargers for their outstanding undefeated 1975 football season. Whereas the Jackson Callaway High School football team won the championship of the Capital Zone of the Big Elite 8 Conference. And whereas the Jackson Callaway High School football team won the state championship of the North Mississippi Division of the Big 8 Conference. And whereas the Jackson Callaway High School football team won the overall championship of the Big 8 Conference. And whereas the Jackson Callaway High School squad is rated the #1 team in Mississippi by Associated Press and United Press International. And whereas this fine group of young athletes completed their season with an astounding record of 12 wins against no losses. The only team ever in the history of the Mississippi High School Activities Association to have this record. And whereas the Jackson Callaway High School football team scored a total of 328 points on offense, while allowing only 121 points to be scored against them on defense. And whereas 9 members of the Jackson Callaway squad were all Big 8 Conference selections, and whereas 11 members of the Jackson Callaway team were selected to the All-City team. And whereas the Jackson Callaway High School squad, ably coached and inspired by head coach Charles Allman, assistant coaches Hill Denson, W.J. Bilbro, and Odell Jenkins, has developed a winning and cooperative spirit and a high degree of sportsmanship. And whereas their activities and attitude reflect great credit upon the individual players and their coaches and bring honor to their school, and whereas it is the policy of this legislature to recognize and command excellence, especially when evidenced by the youth of our state who are its future. Therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the state of Mississippi, the Senate concurring therein, that we hereby commend and congratulate the Jackson Callaway High School football team and their coaches, Charles Allman, Hill Denson, W.J. Bilbro, and Odell Jenkins, for winning the Big 8 Conference and for displaying tireless devotion to their athletic endeavors.
And I start every day by saying, Lord, I want you to direct this day. I surrender this day to you. And it's a wonderful thing to walk through every day and to know that God is leading and God is directing. It's wonderful to go through every day and know that God has His protective host around you and nothing can touch a hair of your head without His permission.
Yes, it is. Don't you? And children, darling, precious, loving, lovely children, I know, and how Mom knows on Mother's Day, that He watches. We